With the release of not one, but two installments of video game adaptations in the world, being Halo Season 2 and more recently Fallout, one question remains. Why does the Fallout show work when Halo does not? I'd like to preface with this piece is based on my opinion of both shows and my knowledge of their source material. Before I get into this, if you could please subscribe to our channel and like the video, it really does help us out, and we mean that sincerely. We appreciate all of the support so far, especially on these little offset videos that we've been trying to put out for you guys. We do see your love and we appreciate it. So with that being said, let's get into it. Let's address the elephant in the room, the Halo series. Now, this has to be one of the most polarizing game-to-stream adaptations in recent history because of one key reason. It's barely an adaptation. Now hear me out. Halo the TV series may share the name with its game counterpart, a handful of the same characters, some locations, and have some aesthetic similarities. But, and this is a huge but, it is not adapting its source material, at least in Season 1. Season 1 of the Halo TV show feels like the studio gave a film student that had never played a Halo game in their life millions of dollars and said, hey, go crazy, bud. Aside from the whole Chief taking his helmet off in Episode 1 thing, having the least to do in the show, and having a weird, intimate relationship with a human, I said that right, human Covenant prisoner of war, the story is lackluster and lacks the pivotal Halo DNA that made the game stories so special. Halo 2 tries to edge itself closer to a loose adaptation of Halo 1 the game by doing some things right and others horribly wrong. For starters, our main hero of the show, Master Chief John 117, still has nothing to do. When he does have something to do, he's seen out of his armor, being a total dick to his squad mates, lacking any form of real leadership qualities, and being constantly injured and sidelined to make room for weak side characters that frankly nobody cares about. Go on. The only episode of the season that truly felt like an adaptation of Halo was the final episode of Season 2, which is the first time we actually see Master Chief step onto a Halo ring in a show called Halo. Although not entirely faithful to the design seen in the games, we are at least getting Forerunner structures, a fight with Master Chief in a version of the Arbiter, the very seductive, might I add, Monitor, which may or may not be an interpretation of 343 Guilty Spark.
I'll be watching.
And, surprisingly, Master Chief wearing his armor. That just happens to make him iconic. Had the show followed this format a little closer to begin with, or started by adapting source material more closely while adding its own flavor, we might not even be having this conversation right now. But here we are. And then there's Fallout. Fallout manages to do two things very well, in my opinion. Be extremely faithful to the games in an aesthetic and tonal way, as well as having a strong, compelling story that anybody, whether they are fans of the games or not, can enjoy and be invested in. Though it is technically a literal adaptation of Fallout games as a whole, given that this is a canon story within that universe, it does not recreate an existing game. Instead, it opts to present viewers with its own, unique, but undeniably Fallout story. While we haven't met any of these characters before in the games, or have a central hero character at the helm of the story that is on the same level of Master Chief, we do get borrowed story ideas from the likes of Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and Fallout New Vegas, as well as a compelling story narrative told between pre-bomb drop and post-bomb drop eras via the Ghoul's backstory or Cooper Howard. Now you might be thinking, how is this a fair comparison to the Halo show if it's not adapting a game directly? My answer is this. Great writing conquers all. Fallout creates its own hero that exists canonically in its game worlds, meaning that everything down to the bolts of a vault and its contents are taken straight from the games. The writers did not want to touch how everything already exists in this world, as it would be a disservice to the incredible stories already told. Not to mention the golden rule, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The aesthetics, locations, objects, general happenings of the games, coupled with its eerie 40s and 50s music, is simply iconic. That's why this story opts to put you at the beginning of a new game, so to speak, as every game does. It puts you in a new location and allows you to build your character up to adventure out into the wasteland with. The show pretty much does the same, and introduces us to our new character, Lucy, and literally begins with telling us what her character attributes are. In saying this, Halo didn't need to be a canon universe story to be good, but I do think it should have kept to what made the game special in the first place. Adapting the story to fit the TV format and covering a game, or part of a game per season, would have made for a great viewing experience. With it not being canon, the showrunners could take some liberties with characters, plot points, and scope to ensure that it fits the format of long-form television. Hell, even Chief taking off his helmet here and there would be acceptable, for the right reasons of course, given that he does take it off in the books. But honestly, who are we kidding? It would have been way more gratifying if he took the helmet off right in the last episode of Season 1. The Mandalorian is the best reference here. Instead, we got a pale imitation of the game, overcrowded with side characters that don't progress Chief's storyline, and changes to core fundamental characters and story elements from the games that made them feel just that special. Regardless of its titular hero being so well known, the writing is not strong enough to make up for the vast changes to the lore in which people know and love, and not intricate, unique, and interesting enough to keep people interested that may not know the lore of Halo. Fallout strives to stay faithful to its universe while taking strong leaps through the wasteland and keeping people engaged and comfortable with the material. My suggestion, honestly, an ODST show that maybe takes place in universe and in canon with locations, armor, weapons, and enemies that are unmistakably Halo. That way there's no solid reference point like there is with having Master Chief in a show going on his adventures, which we've pretty much all played through on our own. And in this case, there are ODSTs that we've never met before, on a mission that we haven't seen before, but fighting something we are familiar with. That would give the writers immense story liberties and allow them to potentially create interesting narrative arcs for characters that we don't know, similar to what happened when Bungie made Reach. Regardless of what I want to say or how many hours I could go off talking about and ranting about the Halo TV show, at the end of the day, Fallout is simply just a better written show. It tastefully pays homage to its games, tips its hat to its fans, and delivers something fresh and unique that is also unmistakably Fallout. Let's hope future seasons of Halo or future live-action stories can find that sweet spot like Amazon has with the Fallout show. Thanks for tuning in. We thought we'd try something new with this format. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. It really does help us out. Subscribe to our channel for more content like this and our reaction content, and catch our podcast every other Tuesday. This is Ben with the Friendly Neighborhood Fanboys, and we will see you soon.